But we have some old challenges still to tackle. I was talking exactly on this stage last year about it, and already 2 years ago we already talked about solutions for some specific topics and challenges companies are facing. And they didn't go away, they actually got worse. So if you look at a traditional architecture, I think pretty sure most of you will have something like this in your companies. This are pretty similar, because this is like state of the art for now about 20 years. And it's definitely a working architecture that's proven some value, but still has some challenges, and these challenges are definitely increasing. And what companies are faced with most are 4 topics that are increasingly important and increasingly serve for bigger challenges. So one is user scalability. Everyone that did these tremendous investments into BI, into data warehousing technology, in the end usually tries to get as many users as possible to use these systems, to actually employ it, to actually do something useful with the data we store here. So it's usually a strategy to get to more users and find solutions, find applications, find tools that are actually usable or employable by more users. And this has been a major drive. We have looked at the inhibitors, the problems in the last years at this conference every time. It's like complexity, it's like the lack of self-service, it's the cost in deploying these solutions, and so on. So there's some advancements, but it's still a major challenge. What we see is that we see analytical complexity is rising. So we very often hear the term in projects that companies say, we want to do more than just reporting. We have built these infrastructures, we have built up a data management environment, but often it's only used for pretty simple things. It's used for some simple reports that are distributed in the company. And the big question is, now we have this big asset. We have refined data, in a sense. We have data that is quality assured, that is handled, that is refined, and what can we do with it? Where's the competitive advantage here? It's probably not in a set of standard reports that are often comprising of financial figures that are basically available in every company. So where's the competitive advantage? It's definitely making more use of the asset we have, the data. And even very valuable data here, because it's not only the raw data. So, big shift from reporting into analysis. So looking at more ways to handle data, to create new information. To look at the data as it is, but create new information out of that. And what this means for the analytical infrastructure is pretty clear. It means more complex queries. It means higher resource utilization, usually at the server sides, at the analytical servers, at the database servers, and leading usually to more problems in performance, in response times, in generally maintenance of these systems. Number 3, I think a lot of people will use this as the most significant thing for big data. It's the data volumes, and they grow big time. Many companies have growth rates between, let's say, 50 to 100% each year. And we did a survey last year. I presented last year some results of that survey here. And we could see that this is the scalability factor that influences companies the most right now. So this is actually, from the scalability factors, the factor that creates the most problems in being able to handle the growing amounts of data, both in storing and providing that to users, but also in integrating that. Because on the integration side, we have the need for fast availability of data, meaning that we can see a trend. We can see that in our empirical data from the studies we conduct. We see a big trend in getting to data faster, in the need to make data available faster for analysis. So there's a growing amount of data that's now made available, integrated in data warehouses, or directly made available in seconds from its creation time in the transactional systems usually. So there's more and more coming in the term of real-time integration, or at least very frequent updates of the analytical databases we see. And to tackle these challenges, big data also offers some technology. So it's not only about the very new and fancy stuff we see here, but it's also about some old challenges we all have and that are actually rising. And what we see right now is that a lot of companies, a lot of vendors in their marketing actually use big data, but everyone, again, as usual in the IT industry, is using it to its own purpose, meaning that whatever I offer, I try to find a way to define big data so it fits to my offering, which is in the end pretty confusing for a lot of people. So what we try to do is we have to come up with a definition that actually helps to understand what's going on here and what describes the big data phenomenon. And we say it's methods and technology. It's for the highly scalable integration, storage, and analysis of polystructured data. And for us, this is what big data is about. So we are talking not only about tools, highly scalable at its core, because it directly reflects to the challenges I just presented. So we have to look at methods and technology for growing data volumes and big data volumes, for growing user numbers and big data numbers, for complex analysis and fast availability of data. So that's the big in big data. We should look at all levels of an architecture. So it's not only about analytics, it's not only about data management, it's about both. It's end-to-end, from accessing data to actually making use of it in applications. And it's about data. It's not only the traditional financial, well-structured data in well-structured models. It's about all the data that is available in companies in all different formats we have. So big data is also about making use of all data outside of the traditional transactional systems. And this is something new for a lot of companies. Often they had some activities, some projects around that, but coming to an integrated strategy, coming to an integrated idea how data can be used in a company, not only the usual financial stuff, but also all data that's generated, to come and use that, refine it, and use it for a competitive advantage. That's what big data is about. And this is what this definition should basically describe.